guys, today I'm filming my Q&A video that I was supposed to film a long time ago, but I have not done it, so we are doing it now. This was actually supposed to be a 200,000 special video. It took me so long to film it that I'm already at like 209k subscribers, so it does grow pretty fast. But I just want to say a quick thank you for just everything. Thank you for watching my videos and for subscribing and for leaving nice comments and for always being so nice to me. I feel so very grateful, so that's why I wanted to film this video. It's nothing special, but yeah, I always get asked to do a Q&A, so why not? I will pull up the questions on my phone. Don't you love my really cute A-Pink pop socket? Oh my gosh, it's so adorable. By the way, the photo card on the back of my phone, you can't see it because I just got this pop socket yesterday, but the idol on my phone, guess. I think that will be fun. Guess who the idol is on the back of my phone. It's kind of cheating if you already know, because I think I posted about it on Twitter, but if you don't know, try and guess who that idol is on the back of my phone. Anyway, so I just want to show my really cute A-Pink pop socket. Isn't it so adorable? I've always wanted a pop socket. Like, I used to have one on my old phone, which I'm filming on, and I really like using pop sockets. It's just, I can do things one-handed a lot if I have the pop socket. And I was looking for one, and I saw A-Pink released one, or I guess Play M released a pop socket for their 10th anniversary merch, and I just had to get it, so. Anyways, let's pull up the questions on my phone. I asked them on my YouTube community post, so let's just go to that. Okay, I have the questions here. So I usually go into great detail. I'll try my best to not go too into detail because this video will be way too long, so let's just get into it. First question. I guess these questions have been asked before, but I'll still ask. How did you find out about K-pop? See, this one I don't want to go too into detail about. This question I get asked a lot, and I've actually answered it before in a video, so I guess I can link that video. But I feel like my whole entire experience on getting into K-pop actually deserves its own video, because I can go deep into it. Like, I can really explain every single detail, but I will just give you the very quick version. If you want to watch my video, I'll link it below where I go a little bit more into detail. Oh, ignore this hair. This piece of hair, it's my little tiny hair. It does not want to stay in place. Me and my best friend, this was back in 2010. I was in grade 8 in high school. We were planning on having a sleepover over the weekend, and we were planning on watching movies, and then last minute she decided to show me a Korean drama. So we watched You're Beautiful, which is the first Korean drama I ever watched, and while we were taking a break watching that, she decided to show me K-pop, and that was that. The very first group she showed me was After School, and I'm pretty sure because Yui was in You're Beautiful, so that's why she showed me After School. So yeah, I'm not gonna go any more into detail, but that was basically how I got into K-pop. She just decided to show me. She's like, hey, you know, like, since we're watching the Korean drama, do you want me to show you some K-pop, which is like Korean music? I was like, okay, like, I was down for anything. So what was the first K-pop song that you listened to, and what was your first impression of it? I don't really know why she showed me Diva out of all songs, but I'm glad that she did, because my first impression of it was I just really liked it. I thought it was really cute and bubbly. Back then I was kind of young. I think I was like 13 or 14 years old, so I was really into like that kind of stuff. I feel like it was just totally up my alley. Anything girly, like bubbly, like bubblegum pop, I just really liked. And I liked their style. You know, the styling back then was so in back then. Like in 2010, you know, like the styling in Diva, I feel like that styling was so in 2010, so I was like all over that. The first album that you bought, it was 17's album Boys B. That was the first album I actually pre-ordered as well. That album is super special to me because it was the first album I bought, the first one I received, and the first one I unboxed on my channel. Overall, that album was a first for a lot of things for me. It was my first time pulling a photo card, and I actually got my bias too. Like, just that album is like special to me, so that was the first one I got back in 2015. Have you completed No Taehyun's birthday photo card collection? I have not, but I am so close. I think I'm missing 3. I'm only missing 3 out of the 50 photo cards, so we're getting there. So that was the first question. Next one. When the time has come that you won't be interested in K-pop / collecting anymore, will there be a collection you will never get rid of? I think so. I think my shiny collection I just can't let go of. I don't think I'll ever be able to. Basically any of my alts I feel like I won't be able to get rid of. I'll just keep them as like memories. I feel like there are other collections that I wouldn't get rid of, but I'm gonna say for now just like my alt groups, NCT, EXO, and SHINee. I feel like I'll never get rid of them. If anything, just SHINee. Like, if I had to pick one, then just shiny. I have a lot of like more collectible items, so yeah, I don't think I'd be able to get rid of that one. Have you ever had a feeling like you don't want to collect anymore, like it's pointless, and suddenly you want to sell / get rid of your collection? This has happened to me sometimes and I don't like it. I would like to know if it happens to you and how you are so consistent with your collection. That's a good question. It's also hard to answer, but I actually have gotten that feeling a lot, wanting to just stop collecting. I think the main reason is because I don't have the room. Like, my bedroom is really small and I just can't keep buying these albums and not having space for them. Like, sometimes they're just sitting on my floor and it's getting really frustrating. I keep getting all of these albums in the mail and I don't really have a place to put them. Like, look at my shelf in the back, it's so full. It's kind of like an eyesore to look at when the albums and stuff is sitting on the floor and everything's disorganized. It's just really not, it just makes me feel like really overwhelmed, and sometimes I do feel overwhelmed with my collection, that I feel like I have too much, and I feel like these days I should be only buying stuff of my ultimate favorite groups, not like my alts. For me, there's like a difference when I say my alts or like my ultimate favorite groups. Okay, maybe not ultimate favorite groups, but maybe saying my top favorite groups, like top 10 or something. I feel like these days I should be only collecting them at this point. I don't really know how to give advice on to not feel those feelings, but I will say that if you feel like you don't want to collect anymore and if you're not enjoying it, then I don't think you should collect anymore. For me, it's kind of different because I have a YouTube channel and I want to keep it going for everyone, so like I want to keep the unboxings going for people. I don't want to disappoint anyone, but I'm not giving into peer pressure. Like, I still love unboxing. Sometimes I wish I can do my channel and it not being based on physical albums. Like, I love my YouTube channel and I love like making videos, and unboxing videos are my main focus. It's a little bit overwhelming for me, and that's my problem. For anyone else that's like not in my position, I'd say if you're truly not enjoying it, then just stop. If you're not enjoying collecting, then you don't have to keep going. Do you listen to any Western artists or just K-pop / C-pop? Yeah, I don't really listen to any Western artists. When I was younger, I did, like before I knew about K-pop. I just listened to like basic stuff, you know, like the top whatever hits of that year. I listened to stuff like Avril Lavigne, Rihanna, Lights, but I wasn't like passionate about them. I became more passionate about music like when I got into K-pop. Honestly, I just casually listened to music. I was never like a diehard fan of any of these artists. Oh, Christina Aguilera as well. I saw her in concert. Also Hilary Duff. I was a huge Hilary Duff fan before K-pop, like when I was younger. She was my idol. I was obsessed with her. I went to like 3 of her concerts. Well, actually my first ever concert was Christina Aguilera, but I was super young. I think it was back in like 2000, like the year 2000. I was pretty young, so I don't really remember that one, but the first concert I ever remembered was Hilary Duff. Yeah, I think it was in like 2005 or something. It was either 2004 or 2005, but yeah, I was like super into her, like super into her. Oh my god. I think I still have like the t-shirt from the concert. I don't think I can get rid of it. Too many good memories. Next question. Do you feel pressured being a YouTube K-pop collector, like to collect certain groups or buy a certain album? That's a good question. I don't really let people pressure me into buying anything. Sometimes I do feel pressured to upload and to film certain videos, but don't worry, I usually film on my own schedule. Like, I try to not let people like push me to do something I don't want to do, and no one ever pushes me. Like, sometimes I feel that way about people, but I feel like they're not trying to be pushy. I just like don't ever think that I think that you're pushing me or I feel pressured, because I don't, and I don't let people pressure me into buying albums I don't want to get. You know how many comments I get asking to unbox ENHYPEN? And I won't unbox it. I'm gonna say now, I won't unbox ENHYPEN because I'm not into their music and I'm not a fan. So, and I get so many comments asking to unbox them, and I'm not going to, and I'm sorry to disappoint, and I'm not saying I don't like them. I don't want to get into any more rookies unless I loved it that much, but I don't want to get into groups that I don't really know well. Like, I did not watch Island and I don't plan on watching it because it's late anyways, and I just don't really plan to, and I just don't want to unbox an album of a group that I don't know that well and I just don't really care too much about. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I'm just trying my best not to get into any new groups. So I was never one to give into peer pressure into buying albums and ever. As I said earlier, the only pressure I feel is not from other people, but like from myself. Like I feel pressure to find the right time to film because of where I live. It's very tough to find the right time to film, and where it's like not noisy, and when my brother is not home, and when they're not being noisy upstairs, and I feel the pressure on trying to find the right time to film. And when I do, I'm like so nervous. I'm like, okay, like you gotta do it now. I stress out a lot over that, so that's my fault, no one else's. That's like really the only pressure I feel. Sometimes I can feel pressure, but I don't give into it, you know. This little hair is driving me insane, like actually insane. Next question, what groups slash artists do you want to have a comeback soon? I'd say Stray Kids. Like, we are in need of a comeback. I think it's been way too long since Backdoor. I would say A-Pink, but I mean, we had that 10th anniversary special song, but that was like a digital single. It's not like a real comeback, but at this point, I don't know if we're going to get one anytime soon. Also CLC, but again, same kind of situation with A-Pink, a member leaving. I want to say BAP, but that's also a problem. Oh, I think we need a CIX comeback. I think it's been a while since Cinema. I would love a CIX comeback. I think the one I would be most happy about is having a No Taehyun comeback. No Taehyun, please make your solo comeback before you enlist, because he's gonna go pretty soon. His birthday is in September, and he's the same age as Taemin, who's already enlisting tomorrow. So, please, Taehyun. I would love a Taehyun solo comeback. I don't care if there's 50 photo cards again. I want a solo comeback from him. Also, a Girls' Generation OGG comeback, like at least that, please SM, at least that. Okay, that's all I can think of right now. If you could pick any disbanded groups and any groups on hiatus with no guaranteed future plans on music, so groups with members in the military don't count if they're guaranteed a comeback after, and grant them a comeback, which ones would you pick? Congrats on 2000K. Looking forward to 1M. that is that's a dream. That's a dream. Yeah, that's also a good question. So if I could pick any disbanded groups and any groups on hiatus, and grant them a comeback, which ones would you pick? 100% BAP, like 100%, totally BAP. They had like a low-key disbandment. It wasn't like a big deal. Like they kind of like drifted off, you know? It was like an FX kind of a situation, and then like one of the members had a scandal. But I would just love, like I know Jungkook is back from the military. I would love a comeback with the 5 of them. Oh my god, I would like be the happiest person ever. I'm such a baby. I love BAP so much. I've been a fan since their debut. It was like EXO for me actually. I got into BAP when they debuted, same with EXO. I was totally into them when they debuted. Then I kind of got out of them. And that happened to me with both EXO and BAP. I was a fan since debut and then got back into them later. But I have been a fan since their debut, and I would just would die for a BAP comeback. I would 100% grant them a comeback. I also want to say 4 Minute. 4 Minute was like one of my favorite girl groups. I'm gonna say FX as well. This one is actually like possible, like it could happen, but I want to say 101. I know we've had like a couple 101 reunions, but not with all of the members. Like we've had a few missing. I would love to see all 11 of them reunite and have a comeback. That would be amazing. Which group has been the most fun to collect so far? I mean, I've always enjoyed collecting SHINee, but I must say, I think collecting NCT is pretty fun, although the photo cards is another story. Okay, my camera went so weird. I don't know what happened. I'm filming on my old phone though, but anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, collecting NCT albums is pretty fun. Actually, I don't know if I want to say NCT, you know, sometimes it can be a bit stressful. But I do love like that with NCT we have a bunch of different units, and SM experiments a lot with like full group things, and I find it really fun. I think collecting 17 is pretty fun. I've been collecting their albums since their debut, so I've never struggled with them. I know a couple of their albums are out of print, so I don't really know how it feels to have to, well I kind of do now after going back and collecting a member late, but I never really struggled on like trying to find something because I've always just bought it as it came out. I've looked forward to collecting every single album that has released. I think Pledis is very creative with their packaging, and it's fun to see like what they release next. It was like that for GOT7 too. I actually really enjoyed collecting GOT7 because JYP was always very unique with their packaging. I mean, there was a time where JYP did the same thing for them, but for the most part JYP gave them like a wide variety of packaging, and I really liked that, and I've been collecting GOT7 since 2016. I liked going through them and it was really fun. So which K-pop group is the one you stan but never gonna collect or buy their albums? I really like Drippin', and I like their music a lot, and I love the members. I even have a bias, it's Yup, but I don't plan on collecting their albums. I just want to put a stop on collecting newer groups. I'll make the exception for some, like I feel like aespa I would definitely want to collect, but yeah, I do love Drippin' a lot, but I'm not going to collect their physical albums. Oh, another one is Mide. They just recently debuted. It has Dongpyo in it. He was an X1. I really like their music, and I like their song Killa. That one is so catchy. It kind of sounds like Superhuman by NCT to me. Well, it doesn't sound like it, but it has a similar vibe to it, and I really like it. I also like their B-sides on the album as well because I listened to it because it got suggested to me. I really like their music, but I'm just not familiar with the members. Plus, I feel like they're way too young. I mean, like, I do stan a lot of groups that have really young members, but I just want to stop getting into really new groups and just like support digitally. So is there a group that you regret not standing earlier, like I wish I knew them sooner type of regret? Because I've been into K-pop for a very long time, so basically any groups that debuted before 2010, so I guess I can say SHINee. I wish I was there since their debut, but I just was not into K-pop in 2008. I got into K-pop 2 years later, so I was not there for their debut, although it would have been awesome if I was. Same with Girls' Generation. I mean, I've liked them since 2010. They were like one of my favorite groups. It wasn't that much longer after their debut, but it would have been nice if I was there for their debut. I wonder if there's any like newer groups that I got into a bit later. Oh, I guess I can say GFriend. I was not really the biggest fan of GFriend when they debuted. I got more into them in 2017, I think. I regret not standing them when they debuted in 2015. I did know about them, but I just like wasn't the biggest fan. But like going back, I actually love their debut and I love all of their earlier songs. So it's kind of sad because they disbanded now. But oh, I guess I can also say Pentagon. I knew about them since their debut, but I wasn't like the biggest fan of their debut. But I got more into them when they had their first ever comeback. I mean, I started standing them only after their first comeback, but I wish I can go back and be a fan since their debut. Okay, that's all I will say for that one. When did you get into K-pop and who are your top 5 groups? So I already answered on how I got into K-pop, but my top 5 favorite groups, let's see. SHINee, EXO, NCT, BAP probably. That's a shock, actually. I guess it is. I don't know. Is it BAP? Red Velvet. Yeah, I think those are my top 5 maybe. Or I guess AB6 kind of should land in there too. Because BAP is totally inactive, I guess I can like replace them with AB6, but yeah. What do you do to help remember members' names when you're first standing a group? Honestly, watching the live stages and they put the members' names, this is like recently, I feel like they didn't do this back in the day, but these days they put the members' names on who's singing, and that honestly really helped. Like, I learned all of the weekly members' names because of that, and then like looking at who's singing which part, and just continuing to do that, I learned the members' names within like a day. So that's what I suggest. I guess just like always watch their videos and just like kind of like memorize the members' faces, and like if they're in any shows, they'll obviously say their name and just like try and remember the name with their face. But what really helped for me was watching the live stages and looking at whose name was written on who's singing. So yeah, that really helped me. If you have any favorites, what albums is your favorites? Choose up to 7 albums. Love your vids, by the way. So okay, let's just try and choose 7 albums. I'd say EXO's Exodus album is definitely one of them. SHINee's 2009 The Year of Us is one of my favorites. Same with their Married to the Music album, as well as their One and One album. I'm picking the repackages so there's more songs on it. Oh, Red Velvet's The Red album, such a good album. Pentagon's The Black Hole album is also really good. And BAP's Noir is amazing. I want to pick more, but oh gosh. How did your parents react when you started standing K-pop idols and buying merch? Have they gotten softer over the years? My parents don't really care, although I didn't really tell my dad until like years later, but my mom always knew and she didn't really care. It's funny because my mom is like a K-pop stan now. I totally got her into K-pop. Not really meaning to, I didn't force anything on her, but just like I play it so much, I guess she was intrigued by it, and these days she listens to it all the time and she watches K-dramas. I'm like the younger version of her basically. But yeah, and also my brother never really cared. My dad doesn't care either. Basically everyone in my family is like super supportive of like what I do, like with my YouTube. All of my family is supportive, even like my relatives, like my cousins and my aunts and uncles. Actually, my uncle is a high school teacher and his students know me and they talk about me. I'm not even joking. It actually freaks me out. Like, he texts my mom saying like what his students said about me. It's crazy, and they're good things, by the way. No one says anything mean. It's insane. But yeah, basically all of my family is totally okay with it. I'm an adult, so they don't tell me what to do. They don't say you can't spend your money on all this stuff. Like, I am 25 years old. They can't really tell me what to do. I'm not even living in the same house as them anymore. I've moved out, so basically they're just letting me live my life. How did you get into K-pop? I already answered that. What was your first K-pop song ever? Already answered that. What was your first K-pop group and bias? So I answered everything except for I didn't say my bias. So my bias in after school was actually Yui. I guess because I liked her and You're Beautiful, so naturally I just liked her. But yeah, I thought she was really soft and cute and she just had this like really soft aura to her and I really liked that. Did you start collecting K-pop photo cards right away or after some time of getting to know K-pop? I never was a photo card collector when I first started collecting. It didn't take me that long to start collecting though. I just thought that the photo cards were really expensive, so I just never bought anything. Slowly over time I started getting more into photo card collecting. I used to be really slow at collecting photo cards because I just wasn't all that into it. Like, I wasn't so passionate about photo card collecting like I am now. But yeah, it was a very slow process, like very slow. Comparing how I collect photo cards now to when I first started collecting photo cards, it's crazy. Like, yeah, it's just crazy. Why did you start doing YouTube and for how long do you plan to continue posting? By the way, love your videos. I started YouTube because I wanted like a hobby, you know? When I first started my channel, I had a part-time job and it was actually like graveyard shifts, which means like overnight, like through the night, 3 a.m., you know? So I would have the whole day to myself and I had nothing really to do. So I decided to start a YouTube channel. I would always watch unboxing videos and I thought it would be fun to share my thoughts because this was after high school and I just didn't really talk to my friends anymore because you know, just like being out of high school, you don't see them much anymore. So I felt kind of like I wanted someone to talk to, so I started the YouTube channel and I wanted to share my thoughts in the videos. Although looking back at my older videos, they were very awkward. I don't share my thoughts like I do now. I feel like I'm more open now, but I just wanted something to do, honestly. Like, I just wanted to voice my opinion on things. I wanted to talk into the camera and like maybe I'd catch the attention of some people, which I did, very, very few people. But slowly over time my channel grew and I honestly wasn't expecting it. I did not start my channel to like gain anything really. I pretty much did it for myself. I just wanted to keep myself occupied, and I'm also really glad that I filmed my first ever unboxing video like with my first ever album, so you can get that reaction. Like, this is how it feels to get your first ever K-pop album, and I kind of wanted to start off from there. Like, this is the start, you know? Like, I would always watch people's videos and everyone was so calm and knew what they were talking about and I was like so excited. I just wanted to, like, you know, start it from there, and here we are now, like, looking back, it's crazy. So and how long do you plan to continue posting? I don't know, honestly. I guess until my channel kind of fades away and people stop caring about me. It probably will happen. I want to keep going for everyone and post these videos because I know a lot of people look forward to them. And you know, if there's ever a time where people just stop watching my videos and I'm not having fun with it anymore and I feel like I'm talking to no one, then I guess that is when I'll stop. But I love to post videos for other people. I see how many people enjoy my videos. I've had so many people tell me my videos have helped them so much. It calms them down and it makes them feel better and it makes them feel happy. It just overall helps them, and I love that. I just, if knowing I'm helping someone, it's the greatest feeling. So I want to continue doing that, and I don't really want to stop if it's stopping helping people. So yeah, I will keep on going. Is there any group that you don't want to collect anymore, photo cards and or albums, or any collection that you just gave up on? Yeah, I think I was starting to collect Big Bang, but I never finished it. I did start collecting Rocket Punch photo cards, never finished it, and I don't think I will because Willem is going too crazy with photo cards, and it's kind of hard to trade and buy Rocket Punch photo cards because they're pretty underrated, so I feel like no one really collects Rocket Punch, so that one I kind of gave up on. Yeah, I think those are the only ones I can think of right now. Where can you get signed K-pop albums apart from M-Wave, or is that the only place? Yeah, I get a lot of my signed albums from M-Wave, but you can also get them from like sellers. It's hard to explain. You gotta find the right seller. Like there are a few Instagram sellers that are legit, that sell signed albums, but I know a legit eBay seller called Handle Making that sells signed albums, and pretty much all of them are legit. There's some questionable like EXO ones, I feel like. I'm always skeptical about EXO. I don't know why, I just have this really iffy feeling about them, but pretty much all of their albums are legit, so I would recommend that one, that eBay seller. For you, what Red Velvet era was the hardest one to collect? Like for photo cards, 100% their latest release, Rapid Festival Finale album, that one was the absolute hardest. I only just finished it. Like I found the last photo card I needed. It took me a year. Yeah, it took me over a year to finally complete the photo cards. That one was 100% the hardest. Everything else is super easy. I never struggled. I noticed that you basically stan every group from SM Entertainment. Is SM your fave company? By the way, love your videos. Stay safe. No, SM is not my favorite company. I don't really have a favorite company. I feel like a lot of K-pop entertainment companies get on my bad side. I feel like it's hard for a K-pop company to be great. So yeah, I definitely do not like SM Entertainment. I do not. I'm not an SM stan. I'm an SM group stan. I do like a lot of SM groups, but the company itself is horrible. Yeah, I do not like SM Entertainment. How do you feel about photocard pricing as of recently, especially with NCT and more popular members? Does it change the way you collect? That's a good question, and I feel horrible about it. I don't like the way the photocard market has gone all weird. People are overpricing certain members. When I first started collecting photocards, I feel like every member was the same price. It was not really a thing to member price, and these days it's like, it's insane, you know? Sorry, I'm wearing hair extensions, so like, you know, I've actually seen a lot of people drop their NCT collections because of how hard it is to collect these days with the overpricing of certain members. Like, you know, one member can be $4 and another one can be 30. It's from the same album. They're in the same group. It really frustrates me and it makes me like want to stop sometimes. But I keep going because, you know, I'm able to find the photo cards for good prices, and I do a lot of scrolling and scrolling until I can find the photo card for a decent price. And also luckily I do get a lot of people offering me photo cards for good prices. I just want to say thank you to anyone that has sold me a photo card that was overpriced for a normal price, you know, thank you. But yeah, it's very frustrating, and I totally understand if anyone drops their collection because of this. Yeah. How do you find older friends in the K-pop community? I'm 23, but having a hard time finding and connecting with people on Twitter mainly, and would love advice. I actually find it hard to find people my age as well. Like I'm 25, and a lot of people I see like on Twitter or like anywhere on social media are like way younger than me, because I feel like K-pop nowadays attracts younger people, and I totally get that because when I first got into K-pop I was young, so because you know, like a lot of the poppin' groups right now are younger groups and it attracts younger people. When I got into K-pop the groups were young, they were around my age, you know. K-pop groups these days are super young, so naturally it attracts younger people, but to try and find more older people in the K-pop community is a bit tough, and I don't really have advice for it because I just make friends with young people. I actually just make friends with whoever. I don't really care if they're older or younger. If they're easy to talk to and if they're a good time, then I'm fine with it. But so yeah, I don't really know how to find older people. Does anyone know? I'm curious too. I guess if they stan older groups like from second gen, then most likely they're older, so just try and look out for people that stan second gen groups, I guess. Top 5 best albums you've ever owned in terms of package, design, things that came with. I feel like GOT7's Flight Log Departure album, that one was pretty cool, and it came with really unique stuff and it kind of matched the concept of the album, so I would say that one. That one was really fun to unbox. I feel like older albums, not like super old, but like 2014 to 2016 kind of, they did really cool packaging. I feel like these days companies aren't really going all out there with the packaging. I'd say like all of GOT7's Flight Log series albums, they were all really fun to go through and had cool inclusions that like matched the concept and stuff. My voice is like starting to go, I don't know why. Oh, but you said top 5. Okay, I'll say GOT7's Flight Log Departure, Turbulence, and Arrival. I really like NCT Dream's Hot Sauce album. That one was super fun. Oh, maybe Eyes One's Oneric Diary. That one had like really fun inclusions, and AR stuff. That one had like a lot of cool inclusions. So I'll say those albums. Tell me your top 5 favorite EXO title tracks. Okay, what's my number 1 favorite? I don't even know. Let Me Write, Mama, Overdose, Loto, Monster. Are you looking forward to any sort of giveaways? I did recently do a giveaway, and I think maybe I can do one like at 250 maybe? Maybe? What group would you like to start collecting their physical albums? I'm gonna say aespa. If they have a physical album, which I'm pretty sure they will, I would like to collect them. Do you ever feel like collecting is exhausting and you just wanted to quit/stop collecting and sell all of your collection? If yes, how do you get your mood back? Because I'm really not in the mood for collecting anymore, especially NCT, because their photo cards often get overpriced for certain members. I kind of did talk about this earlier in the video. If you're really not in the mood for collecting and it's not fun for you anymore, just stop. You don't want to like continue doing something that makes you unhappy. So I do sometimes feel like I want to stop, but like what gets me back in the mood is like reading people's comments on my videos, and it just makes my day. Like I always read people's comments on my videos every single night because, you know, it just makes me so happy and it makes me smile, and I love reading them. So, and I wouldn't get those comments anymore if I stopped my videos. So that's what keeps me going. It's people's really nice comments. You don't want to force yourself into liking it, you know? Like I don't want to force you into getting back into the mood, because if you don't feel like it, it's just not for you. Collecting isn't for you. And you know, people overpricing the photo cards, I don't know when it will stop. I'm hoping it will. When I sell photo cards, I don't sell them anymore for like, I think the most I'd sell it for is like $10, and that's like the absolute most. I try my best to like try and stop with the overpricing, like try and get people to price at normal prices, but people just don't. So honestly, maybe just take a break, like stop buying albums, and maybe keep your collection in case like if you want to get back into the mood. Don't sell your collection, just keep it, because I've seen a lot of times where people just sold their collections and then they wanted to get back into it, so they had to buy it again. Like just keep your collection, but stop, and then maybe you'll get back into it. Maybe you'll miss it or something, I don't know. Could you tell us a bit about your interests outside of K-pop? Like what kind of movies or books or TV do you like? What kind of subject in school or uni did you like the best? Do you like to travel before COVID? I'm actually like a really boring person, so I don't really watch movies. I'm not really a movie person. I never was. I don't really like movies all that much. I was into horror movies a lot though. I don't have a favorite though, because I'm not a movie person, but if I ever wanted to watch a movie, I would prefer to watch a horror one. But I do watch a lot of dramas, like Korean dramas or BL dramas. I'm really into that. I've gotten into BL dramas a lot these days. Yeah, so if you follow my Twitter, you'll probably realize how much I talk about the BL dramas. So yeah, that's kind of like my interest outside of K-pop. Books, I did read a lot of books when I was younger, but I read the Maze Runner series before it even became a movie, and I really liked that, but I wasn't like a big bookworm, you know, like, yeah. And TV, I do not watch TV. I just don't. I don't even, well, I have a TV, but I don't even turn it on. The only time I use the TV is to plug in the HDMI cord and watch the drama on the TV. What kind of subject in school or uni did you like the best? I actually remembered, I actually hate math. Like math is like my worst subject ever, but I remember I really liked going to math class because this guy I liked was in my class. Oh my gosh. But genuinely, I really liked family studies. That one was like more of a realistic class, that one that you can actually use in real life, and I loved the teacher. My best friend was in that class as well, and I got along with everyone in that class, so I'd say family studies was my favorite subject. And do you like to travel? Yes, I do. I've never traveled super far because my parents would pay for it because it was like a family trip. Like we never really went anywhere far, but now that I'm older and I can afford it myself, I can't really go because of COVID. I've never really been anywhere far. I think the farthest I've been is like Toronto and Florida over on the East Coast. Yeah, I gotta say though, I wasn't a huge fan of Florida. It's much different than where I live. It's very humid. The air felt very wet, and I actually got super sick when I was there, so I had like a really bad experience. But I think I actually got food poisoning. Overall, it was a really bad experience over there. And the last time I was in Toronto, I was really young, so I think I was like 9, or no, even I think I was like 6 or 7. So yeah, it's been a while. But I do love to travel, and I would just die to go to so many places. We gotta wait till those travel bans lift so I can finally travel to the places I want to go to and to see my friends at concerts. What are your favorite rookie groups right now? AB6, ONEUS, CIX, and WEI. Those are my favorites. Your most favorite photo card out of all that you've ever owned from your entire collection and why? I also just mentioned this on Twitter the other day, but it's that Kpop braces photo card from Odd. I'll put a picture like right here. It's just so cute, okay? I don't even know why he's wearing braces. The fact he's wearing braces makes it irresistible. I'm just in love with it. His facial expression is so cute. I love Odd era in general, or sorry, View. I love View era in general. It's my favorite Kpop era overall. And the braces tops it off, okay? This is just my ultimate favorite photo card. Which groups do you think deserves a lot more recognition than they get? I'd say AB6 internationally. Like, they're doing quite well in South Korea, but internationally they're like nugus and like no one really cares about them. So internationally I'd say AB6. Also, I feel like SF9 deserves so much more than they get. Like, first of all, FNC is just terrible. Like, I feel like they deserve a better company. My camera kind of stopped recording for some reason, but I actually think I'm gonna pick like a couple more questions and then end it because this is just way too long. Have you ever thought about minimizing your collection, like drop a few groups or artist collection? I have thought about it and I would actually love to, but sometimes I just can't really part with some of my collections. It's really hard to part with them. What are the fan cafes you're in? I've been always curious about it. I always enjoy watching your videos. You don't know how thankful I am. Oh, thank you. I have not logged onto fan cafe in a really long time. What is your advice for stands who are just starting to collect albums or photo cards? I did make a video on this, but I will kind of like recap from that video. So if you're just starting and you stand a lot of groups, I'd honestly just focus on your ultimate favorite group. Take it slow. You don't need to rush to get everything. And if you're just starting, you most likely don't really have any photo card collection, so I'd honestly just focus on the albums. And if you want to get into photo card collecting, then just collect your bias, but very slowly. You don't really need to rush for anything. If you just focus on one thing and like one group, it would be more enjoyable. I find it not very enjoyable, like collecting a bunch of different things at once. It's kind of stressful. So I'd honestly just recommend focusing on one group and one member, and if you're all caught up, maybe either start another group, like another group's collection of albums, or maybe another member, like your second bias of your ultimate group's photo cards. Yeah, just take it very slow basically. How long have you been trading slash selling photo cards? What is Lomo cards? I'm new in this K-pop land. Thank you for your videos. Lomo cards are just like freebie photo cards, and I have been trading and selling since I first started buying physical albums, so 2015. Okay, I think I'll end the video here. I have answered enough questions, I think. Thank you again for 200,000 subscribers, and all of your support means so much to me, and everyone that has ever said anything nice to me at all. You are the reason why I'm here. So thank you again for all of your love and support, and for sticking by me for all this time. I will see you guys next time. Bye.